In terms of the Harmonious Blacksmith, which is the final movement of a Handel suite, it's not a great masterpiece, but here's where I would go if you talked about piano recordings of it, because of course you might ask whether you want to hear it played on the piano at all. The first two that spring to mind is a recording by Wilhelm Kempff from the 1950s, which Rupert has listened to already. It's from the period when Kempff was at his best. The reading, like some of Kempff's Baroque readings and like most of Kempff's Bach readings, is at a slight risk of sentimentality. And there are some good moments in some of Kempff's Handel playing, particularly in the opening of his reading of Brahms's Handel variations. But unfortunately, that performance, which starts phenomenally, collapses later on. It's ironic that Kempff, who was probably the greatest virtuoso of the great pianists, also had episodes in his career, the majority of his career, where he lacked sufficient stability in his playing. So, I'd still think about that Kempff reading of the Harmonious Blacksmith, simply because the musical values are there. Cantabile, rhythmical strength, a big line from beginning to end, every note rhythmically controlled down to the smallest note value. The second recording by a great pianist is a reading from about 1926 by Alfred Cortot. I'd probably choose that over Kempff's reading. It shows musical values on the highest level, but is not entirely convincing either in conception or in execution. But nevertheless, it's Alfred Cortot, so you have to give him respect. Of the readings by famous but less great pianists, I'd pick out, depending if you want to be into it, I'd pick out Glenn Gould. And Glenn Gould offers a pop song version of the Harmonious Blacksmith in a kind of modernist synthesizer sound mode. It's catchy and addictive, like a lot of Gould's best playing. I'm not completely dismissive of Gould. I think that the talent that he had is breathtaking, but only in very few performances, actually, of 20th century music, did that talent materialize into a successful reading of a piece. I'd also think about Walter Giesing's reading. All of these I'll attach under this clip. Giesing was the man who didn't play most of the classic Central European repertory well, but he was a marvelous Debussy specialist. So that's a reading worth checking out. But the thing I really want to say about that question is, if you want to listen to Handel on the piano, listen to Edwin Fischer. You're not going to find a recording of the Harmonious Blacksmith, as far as I am aware. But I am going to attach two recordings by Fischer playing Handel, which, unlike everything we've mentioned so far, is playing of genius. Playing of genius. And that's what one listens to, in my opinion. Wishing everybody a fantastic weekend.